So Tango Tek just released a Hermitcraft video about going to the moon with a bunch of TNT and blowing it back to his proper orbit. But he said something that made my gears start turning.
Giganewtons!
And that made me think, how much TNT would he actually need to complete this task? Well, I know I'm not smart enough to figure this out, so I turned to the smartest YouTuber I know, Talmir. So I sent Talmir a message saying, Tango just released a video about using TNT to move the moon, and he says he needs a bunch of giganewtons? And he replies with, a newton is simply a measurement of force. I guess that means I would need to find the mass of the moon to start. So exactly 1 minute went by and I was thinking he was taking way too long, so I sent him this. It's truly amazing what you can find on Google. To which he responds, yeah, that's a lot. Now upon sensing his hesitancy to completing this task, I sent him this to give him a little boost of confidence that he needed. And he was off. That means the weight of the moon is 73,476 gigatons. Wait. I made a mistake there. So it's pretty much 73 with a bunch of zeros after it, tons. I just need to figure out what it is in gigatons and I can move on. And I'm like, see? Simple. And then he's like, I haven't even calculated the energy output of a stick of dynamite. At this point, I realize I am way out of my league. So I let the man work, and after many minutes, I just realized you need to account for the Earth's gravity. A Newton defines energy required to move an object, but it does not define additional energy required to attain Earth's gravitational escape velocity. And I'm like, that will be so much harder to figure out! And he kept calm and said, so I need to calculate the newtons, and then calculate the escape velocity, and then add the two together, and then add a bit more to account for error. Maybe 5%? So I said, you know what? I'll let the scientist do his thing. But then I got bored and said, should we get into the damage this would do to the moon? Probably crack it in two, wouldn't it? And he's like, nope, not touching that. After a few minutes of me being absolutely bored out of my mind, he finally says, there's actually a lot involved, and really blowing up a ridiculous amount of TNT wouldn't move the moon, even if you exploded the entire thing directly on the moon. It needs direct force for it to move, but for the sake of kicks and giggles, and TNT being more or less the only thing that can create any real force in Minecraft, this is our only option. Then we started talking about how pistons don't actually move blocks, but instead cause interdimensional rifts that say I want this block to move from here to there, but just these 12 blocks, since it's obvious that pistons don't work on weight because no matter how light a block would be, like wool, it can only push 12 blocks, and yet it can still push 12 blocks of gold weighing thousands of pounds. But anyways. And then we started talking about kicks, but we'll ignore that fact too. And then in the middle of our conversation, he says the amount of newtons required to move the moon accounting for gravity is 720 with a bunch of zeros after it. As you can tell, I don't even know what that number is, it's too big. And then he says that's a little over 726 tillion. So how much TNT? Interestingly, I'm getting the feeling not much TNT. One TNT block in Minecraft has about 4 billion newtons in it. Huh. It's still a lot. 147 with a bunch of numbers after it. About 147 trillion blocks of TNT. And all he responds with is, well, that was fun.